What's your approach to accompaniment playing, and what are some of the do's and don'ts for the students that you feel they should observe to be
what do you mean,
one of the pack?
What do you mean to be accompaniment?
When you're not soloing,
you're not
singing.
Okay.
You're backing somebody else. You're playing
backing somebody else. There's all kinds of philosophies. Basically, what you want to do is it doesn't happen just immediately. I don't think it does anyway. It may have if that's what you've been doing your whole life, and you can walk into a band and you know exactly where to play because you know the tune, you've done it. Mm-hmm. But if you're new, you know, and you are doing backup, you know, it's kind of like the cherry on top of the cake. How big is it compared to the cake? Well, that's how much you play. Just a cherry's worth. Then if you want more, then you may be part of the frosting then. You never become the cake. And so if you keep that in mind, that means you play when there's an opening. Mm-hmm. And it really depends on who you got in the band. I've played in bands where we have saxophones, and they can pretty well take over, you know, because they want to play all the time. Mm-hmm. And
so how do you deal with that?
Well, you deal with that by talking to them and say, let's trade fours.
Okay.
And that becomes a challenge. Trading fours means play four measures. They play four measures. So you go from phrase to phrase, bouncing that back and forth. It sounds like you're making a conversation. Mm.
So either you play one fill, they play one fill,
right.
Or you're playing some type of repetitive line.
They go, you go, and then they do the next one.
Gotcha.
You know, that kind of thing. And that way you're not hogging the stage. And a lot of the time, I learned that when the guitar player playing, it's probably best to keep the harmonica out of your mouth. Don't even chug until you've played with that guitar player for a while. Mm-hmm.
To get to know them.
Well, you know, guitar players get upset you walking on them. Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's what they think. You walked on me, man. You don't want anybody telling you that because it's like, really? It's like putting your finger in their food while they're trying to eat their steak, you know? It's like, do you mind keeping your finger out of my mashed potatoes? You know, this is mine. And you have to be, and it's a courteous thing. Mm-hmm. Because if you're playing, you sure don't want that guitar player doing a screechy upper note to cover up what you're doing. And it's just, you know, music is a conversation between the instruments and vocal. And if you got a vocalist doing it, then you don't want to play on top of them either. You want to play when they have a break, you know, turn around, a pause of some sort in there, you know, where there's a bit of time, and then you can do some things.
On some of the Sonny Terry recordings with Brownie McGee, it was very common for him to play harmonica, actually the vocal melody as the vocalist was singing. Have you ever experimented with that?
No, I haven't. I know what you're talking about. I just felt like Sonny Terry could do some things, and that's just who he was, mm-hmm. You know. And again, it's not wrong if everybody agrees that it's mm-hmm. okay.
Yeah,
you know, every rule that we make, or I even make, or you make, is broken by somebody, mm-hmm. and it works for them. Mm-hmm. What we do is make general statements, and generally speaking, once you get involved with people of skill, then there's some things you can do that you would not normally do if you're the new kid on the block, or you playing out again, or you're setting in. All of those things have a different set of rules than if it's number one. What if it's your band? Who's going to tell you not to play? Mm-hmm.
With your theory knowledge, do you like to play in harmonies with, say, the saxophonist or the guitarist?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have 2 albums out there that I play with the saxophone, mm-hmm. And a lot of it is trading more than it is, but we do some duets when we take on the onset, you know, mm-hmm. going out or something. And usually what happens is I can play a bent note and slowly bring it back up while the saxophone just dances all over the place, which is kind of cool. Mm. Or the opposite. He plays a single note. We make this up when we get to it. He plays a single note, and I'm running all over the place. Mm-hmm. to it, and we might switch on that on the same song the next time we play it. You know, you take the run, man. Oh, okay. Now you take the run. Okay. And it's kind of like that. So I got 2 gospel albums that I used a saxophone player. As a matter of fact, he was in the high school I taught, and I met him later. He went to my church and said, "Hey, man, let's get together and do something." And that's what happened. I did the arrangements, and we recorded them. It came out pretty good, I thought.